let's talk about what our homeschool looked like for the months of December and January. Welcome to this House of Wolves. My name is Ashley and I love to talk all things secular homeschooling. I have a lot to catch up on. Now, it is 2 months worth of school, but in those 2 months, we only schooled for 5 weeks. We took a really long holiday break and that was fantastic. And then we came back, did a week of school, and then I had a procedure done. So we took that week off of formal school. We did a little bit of math and reading during that week, but that was it. So some updated family news. We got a new cat. His name is Charlie. I'll put some pictures up here. He is in here with me. So if you hear little thumps and bumps, he's up to no good right now. We call him our little Sour Patch Cat. He is a little sour and then a little sweet, but he is adjusting really, really well. We got him at the same rescue that we got our first cat. It's just a nice thing to do and bring him into our house. He's being a goofball right now. We did also get through our fall semester for our co-op, and so that was a lot of fun. My kids had a lot of great times in their classes and with their friends. I have a fantastic group of friends from that co-op, and so it's really great. We have had a break since the middle of December and all the way through January, and we are actually going back next week, and we can't wait. We have all new classes, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So there's a lot to talk about. I'm going to take this as we're going to dive deep into some of these things and go over a bunch of it. Now, we are going to be starting our 23rd week of school, I believe that's right, this coming week. So, we're pushing towards the end. In a couple weeks, I'm going to have a video talking about kind of the beginning thought process of curriculum for next year. This will be the 3rd year that I have posted that kind of video, and I like making it, and just kind of talking through my thought process. I have a stack in front of me, so let's start with kind of our family stuff first. So at the end of last fall, I was able to bring my 8th grader back in for kind of morning time kind of thing. And we just kind of read cute picture books. We did a lot of Christmas books for Christmas time, and for January, we did a lot of winter books. And so that's just kind of fun. We have also started going through this. So this is a DK book called The Book of Mythical Beasts and Magical Creatures. And we're having a lot of fun going through this. The pages are not long at all. And so we do about 4 pages a day. And we each take turns just kind of reading different parts out loud. And so that has been a lot of fun. And then I had this, I think our first year of homeschooling. So I had a kindergartner and a 4th grader. Now my youngest is in 4th grade and he doesn't remember doing this book at all. And even my oldest doesn't totally remember it. But we have a year full of stories. So this is 52 folk tales and legends from around the world. And so there's different holidays that are talked about. So I pulled it out at the beginning of January, and we did one about winter and the New Year, and then about the Lunar New Year. So this has been a lot of fun to bring back in. So that's kind of it's not really curriculum, it's just kind of us coming together at the beginning of the day to get into the mindset of thinking. I think I'm going to talk about the rest of our family subjects. So I have a video, it's linked down below, where we really switched up our schedule. And on Fridays, or whatever our 4th day of the week is, we come together and do family subjects, and it has been a lot of fun. Generally, it has been art, poetry, and music, but that will change kind of this spring semester. Some of the things that we have brought into family subjects is poetry. So we have read a lot from these 2 books right here. I had them for years and we just hadn't utilized them, and so it's been really nice to pull from these. So, we've done winter poems and Christmas poems and just funny poems and just had fun with it. We have pulled in a book that we're working through right now. So this is Poetry for Young People, Robert Frost, and this is what we're currently going through. So we did the introduction all about Robert Frost, and then we've read a couple of the winter poems in here, and that is our goal. All the poems are put into categories of seasons, so we're going to read through all the winter ones. We have also been working through this Squilt unit that I bought. It is Meet the Instruments, Exploring the Orchestra, and so each week we are learning about a different group of instruments in an orchestra, and that's been a lot of fun. We did a couple in here and then we paused because then over Christmas we did their Christmas Carols Volume 1 unit. Now, this is not secular, it is choral music to go with, you know, the Christian Christmas time, but it was still a lot of fun to be able to share some of these Christmas carols with my kids. But now we are back into the Meet the Instruments unit, and let's see, so we have done the beginning of the Meet the Instruments. We did the string family, woodwinds, brass. So next week we are going to do the percussion, and then there is a bingo game. So we have been really enjoying that. Yeah, we aren't continuing music then for the rest of the spring semester, but I would like to bring some of it back out next year and kind of maybe do another unit from them. It's been fun. Then for art, we have done a couple different things. We just did like some art hub for kids kind of drawings. We did our own little unit on Jackson Pollock, and so they did that. Then I have bought, this is from Blossom and Root, 9 Profiles in Art, Volume 1. This is part of their Level 4 units, and we are really enjoying it so far. Let's see, we've only done 2 weeks of it. So it is a variety of different artists, which is really nice. The first one is Louise Bourgeois. So we did those last week. We did not get to the exploring with art part for week 2. I'm going to incorporate that into this next week, but that has been a lot of fun to do. So things that we are going to be doing kind of there's Charlie. Things that we're going to be doing this spring semester are some more music, art, and poetry, but we're going to also pull in some Norse mythology and philosophy. So that'll be a lot of fun. Some different kind of art things, and just kind of really enjoying it. It's just a nice way to kind of branch off into some different subjects that we haven't really hit upon much lately, and we can. Then our last group subject that we do is Layers of Learning, their writer's workshop. This has been a lot of fun. Let's see, what have we, so far this year, we have accomplished the jumpstart, so like the introduction, setting up notebook, kind of talking about the writing process. We've done sentences, paragraphs, and narrations, so that was really good. That was what got my 4th grader to write his first paragraph, which was amazing. Descriptions and instructions, that one was good. Fanciful stories, so kind of, you know, folk tales, fairy tales, that kind of stuff. And then we are in poetry. Not going to lie, I was a little apprehensive about getting into the poetry unit. It has been one of our favorite units to do. It is just introduced in such a fun way, and really kind of lets you kind of break the traditional rules of writing and create poetry in any way that you want. And so we are really, really enjoying the poetry unit right now. We have, I think, 2 more weeks of it, and then we go to True Stories. So this is definitely something that we want to continue. How that will look for my high school or for next year, I'm not quite sure, but we're having a lot of fun with it. That is all the family stuff. So now for individual subjects. I have pulled like everything out, so we're just going to kind of go through it. So let's talk about my 4th grader first. I will put like the time right here for if you want to skip ahead to my 8th grader. All right, I let the cat out, so we will see how long that lasts. let's talk about books for my 4th grader. So he has been doing a lot of reading. So he read Finding Wonders by Janine Adkins. This is 3 Girls Who Changed Science. I have talked about this a lot. It is also included in my 8 books that I encourage people to pick up. Yeah, do what you want. Then we have The Story of Marie Curie. Both of these are part of Build Your Library Level 3. This was supposed to be done during science as like a read aloud with both of us. I just handed it to him and he did it as his own reader. And then this is also part of Level 3 but is a reader, and it's Pirates. So this is a Magic Treehouse research guide. He wants more of these. Now, this kid, I think in 1st grade, he had done a couple of the Magic Treehouse books and decided he didn't want to read any of them anymore. Like, we got rid of them. He wanted nothing to do with them. And so with this one, I said, look, it's set up differently. You're not really following them, but there's like research that is included in this. And he actually loved it and wants more of these kinds of Magic Treehouse books. Then for read alouds, during Christmas, we did A Boy Called Christmas by Matt Haig. He's one of my favorite authors, and we really, really enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun to read together and just, be in the Christmas spirit. We finished that before Christmas, and so kind of over Christmas break and in the very beginning of January, we read Willowdene by Catherine Applegate, another favorite author of ours. She just writes stories that bring up amazing conversations with your kids in gentle ways. And so that's what this does. Essentially, this is, if you mess with one part of Mother Nature, what are the outcomes of that? But told in the story of a little girl who's lost her family and doesn't know where she fits in, but loves these animals that everybody else hates and hunts. Amazing. Loved it. And then we are currently reading through Stowaway by Karen Hess. This is part of Build Your Library. The other 2, Boy Called Christmas and Willowdene, were not. Those we just kind of pulled off and read because we wanted to. So, Stowaway, you're following a young boy who stowaways on Captain James Cook's ship as he travels around the world. It's going okay. We are, part 6 on page 70. It's not my favorite, but I think he's enjoying it. So, and it just gives a kind of different perspective. All right, now let's talk about curriculum. Math. Here we are, Math with Confidence, grade 4. I mean, no surprise here. We did finish book A, and so now we are on book B. He is loving it still. It has become a little bit more of a chore. I think just, we're getting into some more difficult subjects. So that is just kind of where we are. But we just finished up chapter 9 and finished chapter 10, which is getting into long division. So ready or not, long division, here we come. So now we're going to talk about all of his language arts, which is a lot. It doesn't happen every single day. I've talked about our schedule before. We school 4 days a week because then generally we have co-op on Thursdays. I puzzle piece it all together. That's linked down below if you want to see our latest schedule and how I've made it work. But he is going through handwriting without tears, cursive handwriting. It's handwriting. It's not that exciting, but he does like handwriting without tears. So that is going well. We are that far into it, so he should be able to finish it by the end of the school year. We have kind of gone back and forth during the school year. Does he do multiple pages a week? Or what are we doing? Right now, I'm just having him do 1 because I needed him to do more spelling. So 1 day a week, he does handwriting, and then the other 3 days a week, he does spelling. So yeah, we're on page 50. So out of 94. We should be able to, because there will be some subjects towards the end that we are done with, and he can put a little bit more energy into cursive. Word ladders, this is from Scholastic, grades 2 through 3. I found it online for free. It is not his favorite thing to do anymore, but I really like the setup. You know, you start at the bottom and use these clues on the side to work your way up, and the word changes with each clue. I don't know that I'll be able to get him to do this next year. At this point, we're only doing it 1 day a week, and that is a struggle. But I think that there's some good skills to be had in this, so I am encouraging him. We're going to finish it this school year. Then sequential spelling level 1. All right, so we do this 2 to 3 times a week. I think sometime in January I decided, you know, we really need to do this 3 times a week. So that is what we are doing. We are really liking it. You know, it is just a list of words every single day, but there's no fluff, and each list kind of grows on each other. So you're really kind of working with that root word and then eventually making bigger words from it. It is going very well. We have just finished the 51st day. So, you know, there's 180 days in this. We will not finish it this year, but I am happy with the progress that we have made the past few months in kind of speeding it up a little bit. All right. Word roots. He's doing the beginning book. This is for grades 3 through 4. It is not his favorite, but I do like it. I don't think that he wants to do it next year. I don't know what else we will do. Vocabulary is one of those, like, we have not found a vocabulary that works for everybody yet. But he has worked through lesson 19, so he will be starting lesson 20. You know, this is one of those, he will probably finish it. Oh yeah, he's going to finish it in the next couple weeks. There's 24 lessons with a review at the end. Yeah, so in the next 5 weeks, he's going to be finishing this, which is where then he can pick up more handwriting and maybe word ladders. I think it could work, but he doesn't like it. He also doesn't like that kind of busy work. So maybe I need something more hands-on. That'll come in a different video. Right now, it's where we are. And then his last thing for language arts is Beowulf's grammar. We are enjoying it. He likes the hands-on approach. Some of the things, they are like his first time learning about it. We have kind of moved beyond what he has learned before in grammar programs. And so it's getting a little bit more difficult. We have made it, I think my goal is that I want us to make it to week 17 on their schedule that they plan out. Obviously, we don't follow that. We do Beowulf's grammar 2 days a week. So we have made it to page 105 out of 500 pages. So we will make it to the week 17. If we end really early, there's a bunch of review, like weekly review kind of pages that we have not been incorporating. And so I will be using that. He likes it. It gives kind of a multi-dimensional introduction into grammar, and it is really thorough. And he likes the kind of cut and paste things and the comics with Beowulf. He just, you know, it's entertaining to learn grammar that way. And then what I will say is build your library. Now, if you've seen my videos before, I'm kind of picking apart build your library just to make it fit in our house. I think that it is a fantastic program. I have made it more difficult for myself this way, but also a little bit easier. So on Mondays and Tuesdays, we do the history for Build Your Library. I am pulling in more and more from Story of the World, some of the assignments and extra things that they do, but I'm really using Build Your Library for like timeline dates, extra videos that might be included, extra little books that might be included, stuff like that, where then I'm using Story of the World for kind of the rest of it. So that is working really well. And then we have gotten through like all of the other science stuff for Build Your Library, and we started a whole unit on the periodic table. Again, I am making it more difficult for myself and not following Build Your Library. Instead, we found, he created his cover for this. We found a periodic table of elements. I got it from teachers pay teachers, and they did not write their information on it. We are covering about 4 elements every week. And so we have a couple different books that we're using, and it's been a lot of fun. Tell you what, I have learned more about the elements in doing this than I ever did in high school or anything else. So it's been a lot of fun. He loves the periodic table of elements, and so this has been just a fun way to do it. Now, because we're not really following Build Your Library, we are still using like some of the books and resources for the periodic table, and then some like links that are incorporated into Build Your Library. So that is how we are using that. All right, let's get to 8th grade. Whew. We're getting there. All right, his reading has definitely, well, he on his own has done a lot of reading. Our read aloud time has really been a struggle. I haven't found that like perfect time for us to sit down and do our read alouds together. We are trying though. But his readers, so he read I Am Malala. This is the young readers version. I believe that for Build Your Library level 7, it is the like adult version. I had the young readers, and so we made it work. He still was able to take a lot from it and learn a lot from it. Then he read While I Was Away by Waka T. Brown. So this, you're following a 12-year-old girl who is having trouble understanding basic Japanese, and so her family sends her to live with her grandmother for a few months, but then where does she fit into this world, right? She's not totally American, but she's not totally Japanese, and so where does she fit into it? He did really enjoy that book. And then he has just started The Westing Game by Ellen Raskin. This looks like it's gonna be really fun. Think of like Clue or And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, any kinds of those books where there is a death and you have to figure out who did it. And at this point, I think it's, who's going to kind of get the money from this millionaire who had died. But he's enjoying it so far. And then, like I said, for our read alouds, in December, we tried to do A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, and we did some of it. We did not finish it, and then Christmas happened, and we just didn't continue. So, he has read A Christmas Story before. I was wanting to kind of continue on. I have a book with like multiple Charles Dickens Christmas stories, and it just didn't happen. It's okay. But we are currently reading, this is from level 7, A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. This is my first time reading it, and I am so happy to be sharing this with him. It is so funny. We are listening to it on audio and just dying as we are listening to it. So we have, 9 tabs left. So we'll get it done pretty soon. And then I have big plans for what we are reading next. And I am also just trying to incorporate in a little bit of book study into it. So at the beginning of this, we took a day and kind of talked about sci-fi and just that genre as a whole. And I think that's as much as I'm going to do with this. For future books, I might do a little bit more. My kind of goal for high school is that we can do a little bit of book study, maybe a little bit of writing with our books. So I've been kind of working him towards that. All right, now for curriculum. Again, we will start with math. So he has been going through the pre-algebra for Denison Math. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. He is in chapter 9. I can't believe how much this has clicked for him. It is wonderful to see him get confident in math. So he, watches the video, does the work in here on his own, checks it, really only comes to me for the tests. So far, the tests come with A and B, so if you need to kind of go over some stuff, you can retake and do test B. He has not had to do that yet. Now, I know this is pre-algebra, it gets more difficult, algebra and beyond, but this is such a huge step for him, and I'm so proud of the work that he is doing in this. And then his language arts. So he is doing handwriting by Zaner Blaser. This is grade 5. We'll see. He has made it so far to page 54. How many pages are there? Like 80 some pages. You know, he does it twice a week, and that's really good. The other 2 days a week, he is doing typing from typing.com, and that is going really, really well too. Eventually, you know, we will be stopping handwriting, so we might just kind of get to this end of this book and just kind of focus more on typing, because that he really needs to know. This has been really well for him. He's made amazing progress through it, and his handwriting has gotten really, really good. All right, word roots, level 1. I don't know how much progress he has made in the past 2 months. This is definitely one that kind of falls off if we don't have time for it. He has only made it to review 9 and 10, but he is making progress, so I will take it. You know, I wasn't thinking that he would finish this book this year anyways. It's for grades 5 through 12 plus. We will just continue making progress on it wherever he is at the end of it. I would like for him to continue it, but you know, December, let's see if we can tell stickers. Okay, so here we are. So he made it through review lessons 7 to 8, but I know he didn't do this past week. He was supposed to get through this review for lessons 9 and 10. You know, it's vocab, just progress is great. And then our big, huge grammar change. I don't remember if I really talked about, maybe at the end of November. I can't remember when we made the switch to this. I think it was in November we did. Yeah, so our grammar. We have gotten rid of all the other stuff and we are just doing grammar for the well-trained mind. Now, we have tried this before when he was in 6th grade, and it was way too much. This is a very advanced grammar. Like, it's not easy, but it will set him up with all the grammar that he needs. So far, he has made it through week 4, lesson 16. So we are about to start week 5, lesson 17. So there's 4 lessons per week, and we only do this 2 to 3 times a week, at least 2 times a week. So I am happy with our progress on it. It is dense. Like, there's some lessons where we have to, all right, let's pause, let's talk this over again and try this again, and really kind of trying to master it. It's supposed to get more challenging as it continues. I am happy with our pacing for it now. And then again, what I'm calling Build Your Library. He is following a little bit more so than his younger brother with Build Your Library level 7. I just rework it. So one day he does human geography, the next he does physical geography, and then science. And that is really working. He is using all the things for it, just in a different kind of setup. Some of the things that we have done is kind of add on some different activities. So let's see. Yeah, so one day he read about layers of the atmosphere, so I found a little printable for him to do. He is still doing all of the map work and stuff for all the different countries. He is also doing the world religions for Build Your Library. And so he does the religion profile pages for Build Your Library, and that has been a lot of fun. He has learned a lot about all kinds of different religions. Oh yeah, so here he did diagram of a snake. So that was a lot of fun. A lot of religion profiles. Here is this map that I have found for free online. It is from Cetera. This is what he is using as he is learning all the different countries to just kind of fill them all in. And then at the end, I have him do a final map. And again, just kind of extra little hands-on stuff. Okay, that's it. We have made a lot of progress, and it was only like 5 weeks worth of school. We made it past the halfway mark for our school year. We got through Christmas, which was crazy and chaotic and busy. And we got through January, which was the longest year I can't wait to be back at the beginning of March. Holy cow. To kind of give an update for what February went. I think I will have a better remembrance of what we covered in February instead of trying to remember everything that we did for 2 months. But I always like doing these kinds of videos, and I hope that it is helpful to any of you out there to see kind of what we are doing and how far we are getting into our schoolwork, or not far, or things that we have changed. On that note, I'm gonna go put all of this away and get ready for school tomorrow. If you like this or anything else here on this channel, make sure to like and subscribe down below, and I'll be back for more soon.